Hello and welcome to another episode of Go to Australia TV show, your show. As you may recall, in our previous program, we've talked about different Australian visas and how to get those visas. In this and the next episode, we're going to talk about Australian business visas. How to invest in Australia, how to buy a business, how to manage a business in Australia, and how to come to Australia on a business visa. Let's begin. So if you want to come to Australia to invest or to run your own business and to basically have your own business, you need to come to Australia on a business visa. And how to get those business visas and what business visas do we have? We have two types of business visas. One is called provisional business visas, which are temporary business visas which allow you to come to Australia for 4 years. We also have permanent business visas, which means you have a permanent residency and you can come and live in Australia forever and establish your business or run your business or buy your business and live here forever. We will talk about each of these two categories in details, but first let's talk about the temporary or provisional visas. These provisional or temporary visas basically allows you to come here for 4 years, and during these 4 years you need to do some business or investment or other requisite to be able to get permanent residency in Australia if you wish to do so. And we're gonna talk about how to get this temporary visa first, then talk about how to become a permanent resident if you wish. So provisional visas, what are they? We have a visa subclass called 188, and this is the temporary visa we are talking about, or a provisional visa we're talking about. This visa has 5 subcategories, which means there are 5 streams for this visa. And we're gonna talk about them in details, but first, the main one or the most frequently applied for is a subclass 188A, which is also called Business and Innovation. Basically, this is a visa which allows you to come here and establish and run your own business. Then, if you basically meet some criteria, apply for a permanent visa and get your permanent residency. The initial visa is for 4 years, as I said earlier. The second stream of provisional visas or subclass 188 is what we call investor stream. Investor stream is for people who want to invest at least $1.5 million in Australia and then apply for permanent residency. This investment should be maintained for at least 4 years before you are eligible for permanent residency. But obviously during these 4 years you have a business visa to come and live in Australia as you wish. The third stream or one subclass 188C is called significant investor stream. By significant investor, it means obviously you need to invest more money in Australia, and how much that would be is a minimum of $5 million. If you invest $5 million under this category, after 4 years you can apply for a permanent business visa, and obviously you need to meet certain criteria for that, and you will be granted a permanent Australian business visa. And the fourth one, or the fourth stream under subclass 188 is called 188D or premium investor visa. What is premium investor? By premium investor visa, the applicant should commit to invest at least $15 million or more in Australia to be granted a premium investor visa. And for this visa, you need to be nominated by Austrade before you can make an application. Okay, The fifth or the last stream in subclass 188 visa is what is called entrepreneur visa or subclass 188E. This is for applicants who are able to secure or to get a fund for a minimum of $200,000 from the government or a third-party company in Australia to undertake a complying entrepreneur activity. For the rest of this episode, we're going to talk about 188A, which is also called innovation stream. In this program or this visa, you need to come to Australia by showing that you're a businessman or woman in your own country. You need to come to Australia and establish or start a new business, and after meeting some certain criteria, you can apply for permanent business visa. The visa you will get initially is a 4 years visa, but if you, let's say, come here and establish your business, run it for 2 years, and you meet certain criteria, you can get permanent visa. After 2 years, you can apply for permanent residency.
Did you know that TV has grown more businesses than any other medias? TV2 Australia marketing program will show you how affordable TV advertising is for your business. At TV2, we will increase your brand awareness, sales, and get a sound return on investment in a short time frame. Contact us on info@tv2.com.au or call 1300 002 777 and watch your business skyrocket.
Where would you like to live? Where is your second home? How far would you care to follow your dreams? This EOB will help you obtain visas for Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and Canada. We will also support you with company registration, business investment, job offers, and settlement services. We will show you the optimal path. We will walk every inch of the way with you. Choice, not chance, makes destiny.
Okay, how to get a subclass 188 innovation visa or 188A? The first thing is to make sure you are in the right age category. If you are under 55, obviously you're eligible to apply for. But if you're over 55, you need to make sure one of the states or territories would support your application and waive this condition. The next criteria, you need to score 65 points in the point test criteria or point test system, which we'll explain it later how to get those 65 points. Next item is to have a minimum turnover of $500,000 in your current business in your home country or wherever your business is. And this should be in 2 years within the past 4 years. So for 2 years within the past 4 years, your business turnover should be at least $500,000 or more. The next criterion is to have a minimum asset of $800,000. The assets obviously would be your home, your properties, your cash in your bank account. So again, the minimum should be $800,000 to be eligible to apply for this visa. Next criterion is to have a state sponsorship. Obviously, after you meet all the criteria in your own mind, you need to apply for a state sponsorship and get approval by a state. You also need to meet health and character requirements. You need to be healthy, obviously, and you need to show your police clearance to the Australian government. And finally, you need to show that you have managed your own business. So you need to show that you've been managing your business for at least the 2 years that you've been claiming. So as I mentioned, you need to have 65 points to get subclass 188 visa. This is the minimum that the federal government requires. Some states may ask for more points, like recently Victoria has announced that they will need a minimum of 80 points for applicants so they can sponsor them. But how to get those points? Let's go through each item one by one. The first item is age. And as you would see here, if you are 18 to 24 years, you get 25 points. If you are 25 to 32, you get 30 points. If you are 33 to 39, you get 25 points. If you are 40 to 44, you get 20 points. And between 45 to 55, you get 15 points. The next item will bring you point is your level of English. English ability is not a must it's not compulsory for business visas. But if you have some level of English, you may get some points. For example, if you're proficient in English, which means you can get a score of 7 in IELTS or in comparable tests such as TOEFL or OET and so on, you get 10 points. If your English is at what we call vocational, which means IELTS 5 or more, you get 5 points. Your management skills in your own business can bring you points. As an example, if you have worked 4 out of 5 years in the past 5 years as a manager and you can prove that in your business, you get 10 points. If you have worked as a manager and you can prove it in your own business 7 out of the last 8 years, you get 15 points. Having a qualification is not a compulsory thing for business visas. You don't have to have one. But if you have one, that could bring you some points. As an example, if you have a trade degree or diploma from an Australian institute, you can get 5 points for it. If you have a bachelor degree from overseas or even Australia, but a comparable bachelor degree, you can get 5 points. And if that bachelor degree or a higher degree is in what we call STEM qualifications, science, technology, and business, engineering and business, you can get 10 points for your qualification. One of the main criterions to get an Australian business innovation visa is to have a certain amount of assets. And as I said, the minimum was $800,000, so that's a must. But if you have this amount for 2 years, you can get 5 points for it. If you have more than this and your assets is worth $1.3 million or more, you get 15 points. If you have even more and your assets worth more than $1.8 million, you get 25 points. And finally, if your assets worth more than 2.25 million, that will give you 35 points. So for people who have more assets, obviously they can easily get higher points and get qualified for business visas. The next item is your turnover. The turnover in 2 years within the last 4 years. So let's say if your turnover within the 2 years of your choice, within the past 4 years, is $500,000 or more, which should be, you will get a minimum of 5 points. If your turnover is more, and let's say if your turnover is more than $1 million, you will get 15 points. If it is more than $1.5 million, you will get 25 points. And if it is more than $2 million, you get 35 points. There are some other items that can give you some points, and they're a bit more difficult to get them or tricky, but I'll go through just briefly. So what are they? The first one, if you have a registered trademark, you can get 10 points for it. If you have a joint venture, and that's a successful joint venture, you can also get 5 points for it. If you have some exceptional export trade, which shows that you're exporting a certain amount of your business every year, you can get 15 points. If you have a gazelle business where the business has had 20% of annualized growth for the last 3 financial years, you can get 10 points. And if you have a grant or venture from a government agency worth at least $10,000 or from a third-party company, venture capital company, you can get funding of $100,000 or more, you get 10 points for it. Finally, if you get special endorsements from one of the states, you can get 10 points. And obviously the states have some criteria to give you that 10 points. They usually are they're after innovators and creators or manufacturers, but you still can apply, especially if your business is in regional area, is going to be in regional area, then there is a good chance that you will get that 10 points. Okay, that was it for point test. So if you have calculated your points and you think you can get more than 65 points as a minimum, then you're ready to apply for a business visa innovation stream, subclass 188A. And I'll tell you the steps to apply for this visa. Okay, so we know the points that we need and we've calculated our points. What to do? So if you've got enough points we've talked about, minimum 65 points, and you've got your documents ready, you can apply. The first step is to apply for state sponsorship. Each state obviously has their own requirements. Some you can do online, some you can do on paper. The majority actually, we do it online these days, and they have their own criteria. But for example, one of the states might say, oh, we need you to bring a minimum of $200,000. Some states might say we need you to bring $500,000. So you need to read each state's requirements, then make an application for state sponsorship. And once your state sponsorship has been approved, then you can apply for visa. And then the Department of Immigration or Home Affairs, what we call it now, can process and grant you visa if your application is successful. And the processing time could vary between clients or applicants, but on average it is 1 year these days. Okay, that was it for today's program. In this episode, as you saw, we talked about Australian business visas in general. We specifically explained subclass 188A, which is a temporary provisional visa. In the next episode, we're going to talk about the other 4 provisional visas or streams of 188 visas. And also we're going to talk about Australian permanent business visas. So keep watching the program. Follow us please on Instagram and Facebook, and leave your feedback for us. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel for next episodes. Thank you for watching the program and see you soon.